The galaxy had always believed itself ancient, wise, and unshakably stable, a place where the great empires carved their borders into the stars as if they were etchings on eternal stone. Across billions of light years, the Council claimed dominion over peace, order, and scientific authority. They documented every species, every anomaly, every faint whisper of unknown energy. They trusted their archives more than instinct, and their laws more than morality. And that was the root of their downfall, because nothing in their ancient wisdom had prepared them for the quiet fury of humanity. Humans, in the Council's records, were labeled a developing species, clever, industrious, emotionally volatile, often creative to a dangerous degree, and perpetually unpredictable. Yet for all their eccentricities, they had remained harmless. They colonized distant worlds, terraformed barren rocks, built delicate alliances, and seemed content merely to exist in peace. Empires watched them like parents watching an ambitious but harmless child tinkering in a workshop. No one imagined that the child's workshop was slowly becoming a forge. No one imagined that the child's mind was already calculating the cost of war. Humans were underestimated so completely, so thoroughly, that even when the Council destroyed one of their research crews without warning, most empires assumed humanity would beg, negotiate, or quietly retreat back into their small corner of the galaxy. But instead, humanity became silent. Their frontier systems went dark. Their diplomatic channels ceased. Human embassies emptied so quickly, the coffee in cups was still warm when investigators arrived. Trade stations rotated quietly with no crew aboard, screens flickering with unfinished tasks. Colonies vanished, entire populations evacuating without a footprint left behind. It was not chaos. It was coordinated disappearance, immaculate and deliberate. The galaxy had no category for such behavior, no explanation for the curtain of silence humanity cast over its worlds. Fear crept into the minds of empires that had not felt fear in millennia. Centuries passed with humans nowhere to be found, not in signals, not in sightings, not in rumors. The universe moved on without them. So the Council believed. Wars were fought, alliances rose and fell, new species were discovered, others died in obscurity. But in the dark regions beyond known hyperspace routes, humanity had not perished. They had been busy. They forged an existence hidden behind walls of dimensional distortion and encrypted gravity. They merged science with instinct, logic with ambition, hope with fury. They built machines so large they bent the light around them. Engines that broke every law the galaxy thought unbreakable, and weapons born not from the desire to conquer, but from the determination never again to be judged by those who did not understand them. Their civilization became unified not by government or ideology, but by trauma. The shared knowledge that one decision from the Council had come close to erasing them entirely. Humanity's silence was not surrender. It was metamorphosis. When they finally returned, the galaxy learned the meaning of dread. The stars themselves seemed to ripple as a monumental rift opened on the galactic rim. Its tear-like shape hung across space, glowing with the light of 1,000 broken realities. Out of it emerged a fortress so vast that empires recalculated the mass of the surrounding star fields simply to understand what they were seeing. This was no ordinary megastructure. Its black armor seemed carved from the vacuum itself, its silhouette jagged and predatory, its internal glow pulsing like the heart of an ancient beast. This was the Obsidian Citadel, though humans never gave it a public name. The galaxy named it that out of fear. Behind the fortress, a fleet emerged with surgical precision. Vessels with no visible propulsion, no identifiable hull plating, no emission signatures. They drifted like shadows. Their surfaces shifted as though alive. They did not announce their presence through radio or light or telepathic channels. They simply existed, and their existence was declaration enough. Alien fleets scrambled in panic, activating defense grids, summoning every warship within reach. The first empire to challenge them, the Ultharan Dominion, launched an armada unmatched in its brutality. Their ships were living machines fused with cybernetic captains. Their plasma arrays could melt moons. Their swarm formations could trap and devour dreadnoughts. They were destroyed in minutes. Human ships cut through their formations without firing visible weapons. Space folded around them like paper crumpling in a fist. Altharan cruisers tore apart from within, their cores collapsing into miniature singularities. Their admirals, seasoned veterans of 100 battles, died before they realized what kind of enemy they were facing. No wreckage remained, only dust drifting silently where entire fleets had been moments earlier. The Council demanded communication, broadcasting pleas, threats, and desperate offers of negotiation. Humanity gave none. Not yet. Their silence echoed louder than any weapon. The Obsidian Citadel advanced through space with unbroken, unnatural calm, and every empire on its path surrendered before the humans even slowed. Civilizations accustomed to fearlessness trembled now at the thought of what humanity had become. The galaxy had no answer for their newfound power. Human technology operated on principles no known physicist could interpret. Their ships defied inertia. Their weapons obeyed no thermodynamic law. Their engines folded dimensions. They had transcended the boundaries of what the galaxy believed possible, simply because they had been forced to survive. Then came the 300-day war. It was not a war in the conventional sense. It was a purge. Human forces hunted down empires whose cruelty had long been tolerated by the Council. They liberated slave worlds where entire species had been engineered for servitude, dismantling the chains of generations. They toppled dictators who had ruled for 10,000 years. They cracked open fortresses that had stood unconquered since before humanity learned to write. Each action was swift, with no speeches, no negotiations, no attempts to justify themselves. Humanity had decided that existence came with responsibility. If they would no longer allow oppression against themselves, they would not allow it against others. No empire could stand against them. Some tried. The Zorthan hegemony activated an ancient star-killer superweapon, aiming it at a human-controlled nebula. Humanity seized control of the weapon remotely before it charged, folded its energy back upon its source, and used the hegemony's own doomsday device to crush its capital into a silent nebula of glittering particles. After that, even the most aggressive species bowed their heads and kept silent. Humanity did not demand rule. They did not claim territory. They left nothing behind but quiet worlds, finally tasting peace for the first time in ages. Their purpose was not conquest. It was correction. When they finally reached the Council's throne world, the entire sky dimmed beneath the shadow of the Obsidian Citadel. Every star seemed to pulse in fear. The Council trembled as humanity transmitted their first and last message, spoken in a calm voice that carried across every channel, every species, every mind that could interpret meaning. We remember how you judged us. We remember how close you came to erasing us. We will not allow such judgment again. Not upon us, not upon the innocent. We will not rule you. We will not conquer you. But hear this. No one will threaten humanity and survive. No one will threaten peace and be ignored. We will stand in the silence between stars, and if you force us to rise again, you will not withstand what comes. Then, humanity vanished once more, returning to the hidden dimensions that birthed their new power. Across the galaxy, peace spread not because of diplomacy or prosperity, but because fear had finally found a new master. The empires rebuilt slowly, always aware that somewhere in the dark between galaxies, humanity watched like silent guardians or silent executioners, depending on who crossed the line. Centuries passed, and humanity became legend. Some species worshipped them, others studied their remains like archaeologists studying ancient gods. A few believed humanity would never return. Others whispered that they had never truly left. And every empire that contemplated tyranny, invasion, or genocide felt a cold shiver whenever they looked at the night sky, wondering whether the Obsidian Citadel still drifted out there, waiting. For once awakened, humanity could never be underestimated again. They had become more than a species. They had become the last answer the galaxy would ever receive to the question of who held the power to shape destiny. A force, a myth, a warning carved into the bones of the cosmos. Do not awaken them. Do not test them. Do not threaten what they love, because humanity will return, and when they do, the stars will remember why they fear the dark.